families, and welcome back to our Eduversity series, where we change your perspective through books about diversity and cultural differences. I'm Miss Thomas, and I'm going to be reading for you today Emmanuel's Dream, the true story of Emmanuel Ofusu Yeboah. And this story is by Laurie Ann Thompson and Sean Qualls. This book helped open my heart and mind because in this book, Emmanuel is seen as different because of his physical ability. But Emmanuel proves that he is not labeled by his physical ability, but yet he can do marvelous and wonderful things. And so I really hope that you find your own personal message, that you find your own perspective and understanding in this book. Enjoy Emmanuel's Dream. In Ghana, West Africa, a baby was born. 2 bright eyes blinked in the light. 2 healthy lungs let out a powerful cry. 2 tiny fists opened and closed, but only 1 strong leg kicked. Most people thought he would be useless, or worse, a curse. His father left, never to return. But his mother had faith. Her name was Comfort, and she named her first child Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. As Emmanuel grew, Mama Comfort told him he could have anything, but he would have to get it for himself. He learned to crawl and hop, to fetch water and climb coconut trees. He even shined shoes to earn money. Most kids with disabilities couldn't go to school. Still, Emmanuel's mother carried him there until one day she said, "You are too heavy." From then on, Emmanuel hopped to school and back, 2 miles each way, on 1 leg by himself. At first, nobody would play with him, so Emmanuel saved his money and bought something none of his classmates had, a brand new soccer ball. Of course he would share it, if he could play too. Lunging and spinning on crutches his grandmother had found for him, and kicking the ball with his good left foot, Emmanuel earned their respect. His new friends sometimes used their lunch money to rent bikes. Would Emmanuel be able to join them? His friend Goodwin pushed him fast so he could balance. Over and over again, Emmanuel fell hard, but finally, he rode. When Emmanuel was 13, Mama Comfort got very sick. She could no longer sell vegetables at the market, and Emmanuel's sister and brother were too little to work. He would have to support them. Against his mother's wishes, Emmanuel snuck out and boarded a midnight train on the bustling city of Accra, 150 miles away, alone. He didn't know it then, but it would be 2 years before he ever saw his family again. Emmanuel arrived full of hope. There were so many people, but no one would hire him. Shoekeepers and restaurant owners told him to go out and beg like other disabled people. Emmanuel refused. Finally, a food stand owner offered him a job and a place to live. When Emmanuel wasn't serving drinks, he kept busy shining shoes. He earned money and sent it home. One morning, Emmanuel went to buy shoe-shining supplies. The shoekeeper thought he was there to beg and scolded him. Insulted, Emmanuel slammed his money down on the counter. The shoekeeper apologized, but Emmanuel would never forget. When Mama Comfort grew sicker, Emmanuel went home to be with her. From her bed on Christmas Eve, she told her son, "Be respectful. Take care of your family, don't ever beg, and don't give up." By the next morning, Emmanuel's beloved mother was dead. He was heartbroken, but he knew her last words had been a gift. He would honor them by showing everyone that being disabled does not mean being unable. It was a big dream, but Emmanuel had a plan. Emmanuel had a sharp mind, a bold heart, and one strong leg. All he needed was a bike. At first, no one would help. They thought his plan to bicycle around Ghana was impossible. Then Emmanuel wrote to the Challenged Athletes Foundation, all the way in San Diego. They sent him a bike, plus a helmet, shorts, socks, and gloves. Emmanuel started training for the long ride. He persuaded the king of his region to give him a royal blessing. He went door to door asking for additional support. Finally, he hired a taxi to follow him with drinking water, a camera, and his best friends. Then Emmanuel tied his right leg to the bike's frame, jammed his left foot into a flip-flop attached to the pedal, and rode. Emmanuel pedaled through the bustling city of Accra. He pedaled through rainforests, over hills, across the wide muddy rivers. He pedaled past oudum forests and plantain farms, and through the market city of Kumasi. He pedaled as trucks roared past the narrow highways and wild animals stalked his thoughts. He pedaled through vast grasslands and into the ancient city of Tamale. He rode up, down, across, and around his country, proudly wearing the colors of its flag, on the shirt printed with the words, the Pozo, or the disabled person. Along the way, Emmanuel talked to those with physical challenges and those without, to poor farmer workers and wealthy landowners, to religious leaders, government officials, and reporters. He wanted everyone to see him and his disability. He wanted everyone to hear him and his message. The farther Emmanuel rode, the more attention he got. Children cheered, able-bodied adults ran and rode along with him. People with disabilities left their homes and came outside, some for the very first time. The young man once thought of as cursed was becoming a national hero. He completed his astounding journey, pedaling south to the sea and back up to Accra, nearly 400 miles in just 10 days. But Emmanuel's success goes further than that. He proved that one leg is enough to do great things, and one person is enough to change the world. Awesome! I'm glad you enjoyed. Here are some questions now that I have for you guys to think about after reading this story. The first question is, why is it important to not judge others based on what they look like? Think about Emmanuel and what he had to encounter and endure. The second question, Emmanuel had to be a risk taker to accomplish his goal. How can you be a risk taker this summer? Think about how you can accomplish something or take a bigger risk this summer.